Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Monday, December 12th. I hope your weekend was great. I'm sure you're out Christmas shopping and getting ready for the Christmas holidays, doing all the decorating stuff. That's what I did all weekend, as helped get a lot of decorations and stuff done. So, hey, I want to thank you for joining us today as we get ready for the show, as we get ready to talk with Dave and kind of find out what his thinking is today, because honestly, folks, not a lot going on out there in terms of earnings. I found a couple things that maybe we can talk about when Dave gets on there. But here's one of the things you'll see for sure is you'll see that we've got a lot of green. I mean, a lot of red ink here. Not much, but hey, it's red ink before the market gets started this morning. So, with that being said, when Dave gets here, we will get on our horses and trot away and see what we can find out about the economy today.
Light FM, Bruno Mars. Morning, Dave. It's 19 here before 9. Check in on your money, see how your retirement fund is going to treat you this week. Yeah, the straight answer is we don't know, because there's so many chessmen on the table that are going to get moved this week. The world could go crazy, or the world could go, well, the other direction. One never knows. Let's go downtown, get an idea as to what the experts are thinking this morning. Phillip Statler is in his office at Statler Financial Services downtown. We do have a lot of stuff on the table this morning, don't we, Phillip?
We've got a lot of stuff on the table, but not much in the way of company news today as we head into this week of December. There's just earnings season's pretty much over for the most part. And so now it's the trade wars and the macro stuff that's going to kind of lead us through the end of the year.
Absolutely. And all the stuff on the table really isn't moving much. So what we can do is give you status reports anyway to set the table. Friday was without a doubt a great day. All three of the major indexes are within a 9-iron or a wedge of being in record territory. Even though they didn't hit it on Friday, it was still big. Dow was up 337 points. NASDAQ up by 85 plus. NASDAQ, or the S&P, was up by 28.5. It was a great day. One of those days I'd expect to see a little bit of profit taking, and that's getting massaged a little bit by some Chinese news that came in early this morning, that Chinese exports are way off. I mean, their exports to the United States reported down by 23% year over year. I got to assume that means they're going to have a little stronger incentive than we do to get their butts in gear on the trade negotiations before more tariffs kick in over this next weekend, wouldn't you think?
You would think so, Dave. That's also the fourth straight monthly decline for them in exports. That's where, it depends on how you look at it. One of the things that I did read is that China has mandated in all of their government facilities that they must remove all U.S. manufactured hardware and software from their over the next 3 years. So they're starting to try to figure out ways to fight back. Now, whether or not that really is a big effect on us or not, we'll have to wait and see.
And I'm almost seeing that as being a concession, too, because what's the biggest problem that we've got from our trade with China that we've kind of sweeping under the carpet? And that's they're stealing all of our dang software. So, okay, fine. To get rid of it, build it yourself, turkeys. It might make it a little easier. It kind of backs up into the dictum that you and I have repeated before. While nobody wants a trade war, nobody wins a trade war in reality. We're a wee bit more capable of wrecking China's economy than they are of wrecking ours.
Oh, no doubt, because they export a lot of stuff to us. We buy a lot of their stuff. They buy our stuff, but not as much as we buy from them. So, yeah, that's a big deal. And we do have that deadline looming out there of December 15th, where there's some new tariffs that are supposed to take effect. We'll have to see if President Trump kicks that can down the road a little bit further, or if he goes ahead and lets them be implemented.
My biggest concern is I didn't hear any conciliatory noise over the weekend from either China or the United States. If we follow the pattern from before, when we get into the footsie dance over tariffs, generally, if we're going to take them off, we're starting to get some conciliatory noise out of both sides. The week beforehand, we had some last week, but it's been deathly quiet over this weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's one of the things that I was reading is that, looking at our markets, they've continued to hit some highs and getting really close to the new highs or the old highs. You know, they said, one of the articles I read says, right now there's really no upside risk in the horizon. It's downside risk
Mm-hmm.
is coming from the trade war. So really right now where we are, there's more downside risk than upside risk in the marketplace.
Which is kind of making us all a little bit nervous going into this week, and it kind of explains the pink tinge we have in the futures when we get to that. The other thing coming up this week, and I really haven't seen conventional wisdom on this for a few weeks, but the Federal Reserve meets again this week, and on Wednesday we get that highly anticipated report. Are they going to drop interest rates again? The noise that I've heard out of the people in charge is that they're happy where they're at. Does the market have a different opinion?
Not that I've seen, Dave, and you and I have talked before, is that they've got to keep some bullets in the gun to be able to fire down the road later when things really do start to get bad. And so I can't imagine them really reducing interest rates, but hey, it's the Fed, and who knows what they'll do.
True. In editorial, we both kind of made our point clear that we think it's wiser to stay where it's at. But then again, we still have President Trump jawboning Paulson, saying he'd actually like to see negative interest rates. So a little political pressure also gets into it, and I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised if they do anything this week. It could happen, though.
It always could happen, but I agree. I doubt that they will lower interest rates, but hey, anything's possible given where we're at in this marketplace.
Absolutely. And if something weird happens in the trade negotiations between now and Wednesday, if they get mad, start throwing brickbats at each other and walk away, then all bets are off for a decision on Wednesday afternoon.
You're right. You're absolutely right on that one, Dave.
One never knows. That's why I said at the outset, there's a lot of stuff on the table, and it could go any direction depending upon which way the table tilts. Locally, SunTrust and BBT are now one company. We got a bank, but we got some new ownership, don't we?
Well, they were equally tethered together. So that it was a merger of equals, and so they wanted to rename the company. So what did they rename it? Well, the new entity is now Truist Financial. Will be the name of that merger. And they've got a new ticker symbol, which is TFC, which starts trading today, I believe.
Have the signs changed on the retail locations here?
I have not seen them, but I haven't driven by any either because they just moved the one downtown back out to the highway at Southgate. So I've not seen any signage.
I didn't know for sure. I knew a name change was coming. I was surprised that it happened right away. Already right now. I was kind of curious. I hadn't heard. We only have one company reporting this morning, and it's really not going to be a major market mover, I assume, right?
No, it's really not. I mean, there's a lot of upgrades and downgrades that I see, but there's only one company I see really reporting today. It's called Thor Industries. They're the maker of the RVs, and they had a decent quarter on earnings. They beat by 26 cents a share. They did miss on revenue. Looking kind of how they parch things out. Their North American towables, which is like travel trailers, and the North American motorized were both ahead of expectations, while the European RVs their revenue came in a little bit below the forecast. Margins were up, which was good for them. When the report originally came up, they were trading up about 1.8%. And then I went and looked at it, and they're down. So I'm thinking it's because of the expectations of the current quarter outlook is going to be flat to declining, actually. European forecast, they hope to be up somewhat. But because of some of that language in there, they're actually trading down right now 4%.
Seeing anything turn on Europe in the RV industry, I guess it might be just jingoistic stereotyping on my part. I just hadn't stereotyped RVs as being that big over in Europe.
Yeah, me either. I can't remember seeing any, really.
Never having been there, I'm just following, like I said, jingoistic stereotypes on my part. Backing up and giving us the table setting for the moment, once again, decidedly green ink on Friday. Darn near a record. It'd be one of those days in which I'd half expect to see profit taking, giving us a little negative pressure to begin with. Add that onto the China trade report. I'm actually surprised we're not more red this morning than my delayed quotes are showing. What are we doing so far, 45 minutes early, Phillip?
Yeah, we're down, but you're right. We're not down a whole lot. I'm like you. I would expect it to be down further given the China trade issues, but they're really not. The Dow's down 1/10%. The S&P 500 is down a little over 3.5 points, which is less than 0.15, and the Nasdaq's down 0.15. So nothing major. Everything's below 0.2% declining right now. If we look at the commodity side, as you would expect, gold and silver are heading up because the equities are heading down. Gold's up 1/3%, and silver's up 0.5%. Crude oil is trading down 1.3% to $58.41 a barrel right now, Dave.
I think that's net about where it was on Friday there, so no major change, just some hiccups over the weekend, wouldn't you guess?
I think so. You're right. That's about where we left it on Friday.
Yeah, I'm working off memory, but that looks awful darn familiar to me. Overseas markets, Asia mixed, Japan up with the Hong Kong exchange off by a bit at the close this morning. Europe generally trading down. That's largely jitters over the fact that Great Britain has a national election on Thursday, and that's going to have the European markets kind of all a Twitter this week. Phillip, somebody needs some advice to stabilize and maybe get a neutral observation as to which way the markets in your retirement could be going. How do I find you on the phone?
Dave, for folks that are looking for an independent approach to get coached into and through retirement, give us a call here at Statler Financial at 863-382-0037. Catch us on our website at statlerfinancial.com, and then join us every weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
And almost every morning here on Light FM with me, Phillip. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you shortly, all right?
All right, man. You have a great one.
Thank you much. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Of all the questions.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, please like our page at Statler Financial here on Facebook and LinkedIn. Hey, I look forward to speaking to you again later this week. I will actually be out continuing education for taxes for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will talk to you again on Friday. Have a great week. Thanks.